Hey guys, this is Lissa Dee, and thank you so much for tuning in. I can't wait to share my story with you today. My newest song, Home Like Montana, is available on all platforms, and you're listening to Hank's Corner with Hank Jr.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Hank's Corner. You know who I am. I'm Hank Jr., part of Hank Jr. Productions, where I'm documenting life's moments through photography, videography, and, of course, podcasting. And I'm so excited about my next guest that's coming up. Her song, Empty Bottle, was nominated for the 2024 San Diego Music Awards for Best Pop Song. You may have seen her on one of my New Music Friday posts for her song, Home Like Montana. Please welcome to my show, Lissa Dee. Lissa, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be a part of your podcast.
Oh, I'm glad to have you on. And, I'm very excited because you are a kind of a new artist to me. I came across you and immediately I liked what I see. I mean, you got like this, I don't even really know how to describe it. You're so unique with a pop, country, soulful song, and I kind of love anytime people can get that soul in there. And I think that's what attracted to me to your music. And it's just a pleasure to have you here on the podcast.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad that I do portray that because some of my influences have more of a soulful voice, and although their style and genre might not be exactly what I am doing, I've always loved like Christina Aguilera and just different singers. So I'm glad that you picked that out.
Yeah, I did pick that out before I did a little research because I do a little research on the podcast. And, when I saw that some of your favorite singers are like, Janis Joplin and Etta James, I'm like, okay, that makes sense right there. I can see that and I can see the influence in you. And, I don't want to say like, emulate them in any way because you definitely have your own style. But I definitely like that little soulful kick that you got going there.
Cool. Thank you so much.
And so, for most people that do follow me, know that I broadcast in a little corner in the Tampa Bay area. And for those who know me a little bit more, know that I kind of originate from Texas. I was born there. I lived most of my life there. But there's few people that do know where I spent 10 years of high school and graduated high school and college. And I bring that up because you're from the same area. I'm from South Jersey. You're
Oh,
from
snap.
South Jersey too, huh?
I am. That's so funny. Wait, where are you from in South Jersey?
So for those that always like to joke around, if you're talking about the turnpike, it's exit 3. But literally, I was right across the bridge from Philadelphia. My school was called Haddon Township. I was between Belmar and Camden, a little spot there, Collingswood, Haddon Township, very small townships. The Walt Whitman Bridge was my backyard. What about yourself?
I'm from Tabernacle, New Jersey, where it's basically known for being very, I hate the word hick, but that was what everyone made fun of us and called us because my high school had cornfields right next to it in the fields, and I grew up all around farms, which you probably didn't really, so you're probably a little like, what? That's weird.
Well,
'Cause,
no, and it's not weird to me, but it would be weird to a lot of people, right, that don't
Mhm.
understand the New Jersey concept because most people, when they hear New Jersey, they kind of tend to think, one of two things. Either it's really part of New York or you got the shore. And they don't realize that there's, a lot of produce, a lot of farming that goes on in the south to, I guess, southeast Jersey there.
Mhm. Yeah, so it's really funny, but I grew up in a small town as well, and that's why I live in San Diego now because I had to get out of there.
And you say how to get out of there. There's a couple of reasons why my wife and I have not moved back, and we're happy here in Florida now. We're not going back that direction. Mainly for her is the cold. What was it for you that said, hey, you said you wanted to get out of Jersey? What was it for you?
Yeah, similarly, it was so cold there, and I kind of like just started songwriting right after I finished college. I went to Penn State, and I just thought, well, first of all, it's even colder in Penn State, and the last winter I was there, it snowed almost every day, and I just was like, what am I even doing with my life? But I was working on my degree, so it wasn't so bad. But it was just so depressing. And I finished school. I moved back in with my dad for a little while, and then I had a bunch of friends that lived in San Diego. I just started songwriting, and for some reason, I just felt like California, I would have a better chance with my music. So I just left.
Yeah, and for those who kind of don't understand sometimes how my podcasting works anyway, I brief the artist before we get started talking that this is recorded and it'll come out at a later date. But when I'm recording this, it's not too far after that I had made my trip to Anaheim this summer. I got to go out there and see people like Presley Tennant and other people while I was out there. I was quote unquote working, but I somehow made the Disney trip and everything like that. And I love Southern California at least to visit. I don't
Mhm.
know how much that I would want to live there because it is kind of expensive. But you're Anaheim's a little further north, and I've been to San Diego, which is definitely lovely. I love going to the ocean area and watching the sea lions and the seals all barking up on the thing. Tell me, besides the songwriting, what do you like about San Diego?
It's just so beautiful, and everyone is so happy, and fitness is such a big part of the community here. So I love that. There's always people running and walking outside, and when I went to Nashville for the first time, it wasn't really cold. It was September, but there was like nobody walking outside, and I was like, "Oh, okay, we're not in California anymore, you know." So I just love how beautiful it is, and I still walk outside and walk down to watch the sunset, and just the ocean just goes for miles and miles, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, thank you, God, for giving us this beautiful sunset." It's just I definitely find myself always being appreciative of the nature and stuff. So I'm happy I moved here.
And I'll agree with that. As a photographer, at least on the side, I have a full time job, but on the side when I do the photography, California is definitely a great place to snap some photos. I mean, I could spend a long time there, and I definitely enjoy that. And I'm kind of bringing all the stuff up, the New Jersey, the Texas, the California thing, because your latest song is called "Home Like Montana," and I know Montana is not your home, but you wrote it, kind of, based on this idea of things that you like about Montana, and kind of like I'm sure that you kind of grab some of the stuff along the way that you've enjoyed or your family's enjoyed, and kind of, put that into the song. But tell me in your words, what's the song "Home Like Montana" about?
I wrote the song because I just love the show Yellowstone that's coming out again pretty soon. Hopefully they'll call me and say, "Hey, your song's in the show." But I love that show. My husband's family are cattle ranchers, and we all love that show, and we'd watch it together whenever we'd be together. So in getting ready for the show to come back, I started watching the old seasons, and just kind of thinking about my life and where I'm at, and how, oh, is California really my home? Or is this where I'm gonna stay? And why do I even want to be here? Why don't I move to somewhere like Montana where life is just so simple and nobody cares what kind of car you drive, and it's just you and your beautiful backyard, and that's it. So um I feel like as songwriters, the cool thing is, like, we can just kind of make up a story in our head and go with it and decide, okay, I'm going to write a song about wanting to live in Montana. So that's kind of where that idea came from. Um, a couple of different things. So
Yeah, yeah, and Yellowstone, I think has inspired a lot of people in many ways, and it's definitely that beautiful. I have not been to Montana myself, but I got a buddy that's up there, and I would love to go and visit him at some point. But until then, I guess we're got the honor of listening to Home Like Montana. So let's go ahead and play that here first on Hank's Corner.
What I'm searching for is a place to call my own. California feels a little like a broken road, and I'm scared to see the only home I've known to be true is one I've only seen in pictures and movies. The place where the horses know my name. The only pickup line is what you're doing at supper time. Place a little heaven in your hands. The cowboys understand 406 ain't just a brand. I want a home like Montana. Oh, Montana. Can I say that I'm in love, though I've never touched or felt it? In my mind I feel the wind on my skin up in the mountains. Rivers flow with hope under a sky filled with stars. Can't you see why this place is tugging on my heart? The place where the horses know my name. The only pickup line, what you doing at supper time? Place a little heaven in your hands. The cowboys understand 406 ain't just a brand. I want a home like Montana. Oh, Montana. Not just a feeling, I know it's real, 'cause it's calling me by name, and I'm rushing in, rushing in. Not just a feeling, I know it's real, 'cause big sky's got some room for my lost little heart. The place where the horses know my name. The only pickup line, what you doing at supper time? Place a little heavy in your hands. The cowboys understand 406 ain't just a brand. I want a home like Montana. Oh, Montana. Montana.
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. I'm Hank Jr. You just heard Home Like Montana, the most recent release by Lissa Dee here. And I'm curious now to learn a little bit more about you. The second part of Hank's Corners, a little bit more documentary style, because that's kind of what I tag myself on. And I want to get to know how you got from point A to point B, and what made you want to do that. But before we do that, I'm going to do the two truths and a lie segment, where you're going to give me three statements. Two of them will be true, one of them will be a lie, in any order. And I'll try to skirt around anything in the podcast that might answer that. But at the end of the show, I will try to guess it. And of course, the viewers will be trying to guess it along the way. So if you would love to play that, I'd love to hear three statements from you.
sure. So my dad loves country music. I am writing a song with Trisha Yearwood's lead guitarist, and I am singing the national anthem in Las Vegas this December.
All right. And so, even if I may guess it, because sometimes I do a little bit of research, that doesn't mean the audience has done as much research. And this may be the first time they are getting to know you. And that's what kind of makes it fun. Is I always love when the viewers will write in, "Ha, I got it, you did it." And I'm like, "Hey, I'm not perfect. I never said I was. I just love playing." But it's always fun when the viewers get to play. So I got to determine though whether or not your dad loves country music. You are currently writing a song with Trisha Yearwood's guitarist, and you are singing the national anthem. Where again?
Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas this December. All right. So we'll try to figure that out as we go through. But let's take me through your story really quickly. How did you get from being in New Jersey and getting to going to Penn State, doing communications? I know you majored in that, but deciding like, hey, look, music is what I really want to do. And how does that go for you?
So I grew up in North Jersey near Livingston before I moved to South Jersey. And when I lived in North Jersey, I was, my mom put me in all these dance classes and stuff. So I was always on some kind of a stage. And then I guess after I moved down to South Jersey in high school, I did musical. I still had that longing for wanting to be on stage and everything. And some people said I could sing well. So I tried to sing in like the more elite groups, and then I would sing the national anthem at the games and different things. And I did like a couple little open mics and stuff. And for some reason, I just always felt like music was very personal to me. And I just didn't know why my heart was so drawn to music. And I remember like applying for schools, and I wanted to do music, but for some reason I felt like I couldn't go to a performing arts school as a singer. And I just really don't know why. If I didn't feel like it was a good enough career, or like maybe I didn't know anyone else who did it, and being not like from a place like Nashville where you are around all these successful musicians, just being from like a small little farm town, I didn't really know that was an attainable thing. So I I tried going to a very small school that I got a scholarship with. Um, that was called St. Elizabeth. It was an all girls school, but it was all around like a bunch of colleges. And I kind of did a music program there where they allowed me to do my own kind of major, but it didn't really make sense. And I decided I wanted to go to a bigger school. So I transferred to Penn State, and then I just started doing all these like kind of film classes, journalism, law, and all these different courses that kind of just filled my major. Um, but music was still always really tugging at my heart. And after I graduated college, I started songwriting. I started releasing a couple of songs here and there on SoundCloud. I don't think I even put them on Spotify, but I didn't really know what to do back then. And then I moved out to San Diego, and I started going to open mics and trying to meet people. And I would go to Guitar Center like all the time because I just knew there'd be musicians there. And then finally, through conversation and doing those things, I met people that wanted to be in a band. And so I was in a more of a rock band with these guys for like 3-ish years, called Blazing Jane. and we released 2 albums, and we were really good, but COVID kinda, put a lull in things, and then after that, we tried to pick it back up, but we didn't all have the same, um, willingness to, like, practice and commit. So then I think it was last January, I decided, and through this, I met a voice coach in San Diego, and she has really been a huge part of my, like, spreading my wings. So when the band was breaking up and this and that, I was like, I don't know what to do. And she was like, well, you can be your own artist. And I was like, what do you mean? And so she really encouraged me to be my own artist and be my own person and have my own thing. And that's when I started this whole new genre of Americana country and started working a lot with her and songwriting with her and typically a third person. And now, yeah, and now I'm just kind of like hiring my players when I need them. And I'm going to play shows in Nashville. I'm finally getting recognition for my music. And so it's been very exciting over the past year.
Yeah, and everybody has a story to tell, but one of the things that I found out is that it's really not just your story. It's your story, but it takes a lot of people to make it. And like you said, you're in New Jersey, and I could feel myself in that same position as you because it's a different atmosphere over there, and I wouldn't know myself either how to get started and that sort of thing. So you kind of need those people to come along and kind of show you the right direction and how to get from point A to point B. And it's so great when those people take the time to do that for you, because like you said, who knows where you might have been off in a different direction. And, with the communications degree, we wouldn't necessarily get to hear your lovely voice. So I'm glad it all worked out. We're going to play Inside Out, and we'll come back. We'll find out a little bit more details from the Inside Out of Lissa Dee here on Hank's Corner.
Hey, my mind is crowded like it ought to be, yeah, filled with clutter from another world, maybe your dreams. Get lost in a strawberry field, on a rooftop seeking the thrill. When you do, when you take me there, yeah, time passing slow as can be, like honey flowing through me. When you do, when you take me there, yeah. Wanna know you from the inside, inside out. Oh, wanna know you from the inside, inside out. Oh, you've got a hold of me, I'm starving to be seen. I'm lost inside the time it takes for you to set me free. Wanna know you from the inside, inside out. Hey, my time is slipping from reality, yeah, on the edge of a hectic perspective. Just leave it to me. Get lost on a drive through the hills, on the cliffs the sunset so real. When I'm here, when you take me there, yeah, time passing slow as can be, like honey flowing through me. When I'm here with you, yeah. Ooh, hey you, I'm on the edge of the feeling, with something and everything, but nothing's got me. Wanna know you from the inside, inside out. Oh, be seen. I'm lost inside the time it takes for you to set me free. Wanna know you from the inside, inside out. Ooh, ooh, yeah. Inside out. Inside out. Hey, hey, yeah. I wanna feel you from the inside, inside out.
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. I'm your host, Hank Jr., here with my special guest, Lissa Dee. And you just heard Inside Out. We're finding out all these tidbits about, Lissa from the inside out, outside in, however you want to put it. But it's a great song. I love listening to that one. What's the backstory to that one?
Inside Out is about falling in love and just wanting to really know someone to their core.
Yeah, because sometimes that's hard, right? I mean, sometimes you get the superficial top level, and you definitely, if you want to make things work out, to give it out. And there was just something about that song that just kind of, made me think, and I really like listening to it. Like I said, I do prep before these podcasts, and I was driving home listening to that one, and that one I just said, let me hear that one again, and I put that one on repeat before moving to some of the other songs. So it was definitely a great moment there. But I do want to switch things up just a little bit here. And I told you that I'm from the South Jersey area, and this weekend, like I said earlier, that I record these podcasts before putting them out a couple weeks later. But this weekend, after I record this, I am going back to the Philadelphia area for Veterans Day weekend, and they are having a Rocky run. Basically, a bunch of people acting like Rocky, going to the art museum and running. I'm only going to do the 5K, but I think the next one up was the 10 mile. I wish there was a 10K somewhere in between there. And then on a side note, I'm going to see one of my early podcast guests, Megan Knight. She's performing at the Vinyl. So by the time this comes out, I'll already have been there. But I bring up the running part. I am not an athlete. I mean, not anymore. When I was younger, I was. But you have a little bit of an athletic personality. Is that correct?
Yes, I do.
So tell us about this, this bodybuilding competition that you were in.
Yeah, so I did that last year in June, and I started going to this gym in San Diego. As soon as the gyms could barely be open, this was like one of the only places open here, and it was a bodybuilding gym, which I'd never been to before. And you walk in, and there's all these pictures all over the walls of men and women just at their best physique. And it's really inspiring. And I started training with a fitness coach, and I knew that people there did all these competitions and stuff. And I saw this girl from high school actually did one, and I thought she looked amazing. And I wanted to maybe try that or do that. I didn't know anything about it. And that was, I mean, anyone who's just randomly thinking about doing it, I don't know if I would suggest it, because I didn't really know what went into it, but it was insane. But the biggest takeaways were just how much torture and like hell I could put myself through to get to the finish line and know that I'm capable of so much. It's kind of like really a mind trick for yourself, because my preparation was 5 months to get into that goal and to get to my show. And at the beginning, you kind of start like a normal diet, but then it goes to a crazy area, like, especially when you're 2 weeks out, I was eating tilapia and rice cakes, and that was about it. But my body fat was so low that it's not like I was starving or anything like that. I was eating a lot, but just very lean stuff. But your mind is just so focused on, like, all the food that you can't have. The sugar, the burger, the pizzas, like, all the sauces and everything, and alcohol, and you start to think, like, wow, am I this driven by such, like, bad food? Like, do I really need this stuff? And is my whole life and my whole mind just controlled by food? And you just start to think about all these things, and then you're like, okay, if I can do this, then I can do these things. And it's kind of crazy, and it's probably not something I would recommend to everyone, but it was really interesting.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't seem like anything I want to do. I'm trying to maintain and lose a couple of pounds now, but I'm also a lot older, and it's a lot harder to do that. And maybe back in the day, I could have had a regimen, but I've never been the kind that just would bodybuild. That just really wasn't me. I was always very thin, and it took a lot of hard work, to kind of build myself up even a little bit. And then once I got older, it just all turned to fat. So, it didn't work out for me. But, comparing how hard that is to, making it in the music industry, which one is harder?
I don't know. I feel like that kind of gave me a different perspective because everyone says how hard it is. And I know that it is hard, but I think about it in two ways. Like, one, any business is so hard to start, and you're probably going to fail and do things that don't make sense for a while. Um, but you'll eventually probably make it work. Another thing is people always want new music, and they're always looking for new artists, and they want you all the time. And so even though it's very discouraging sometimes, it's also like we have the opportunity all the time to be discovered. Even, you know, people that are like Chris Stapleton, who didn't get discovered until later, he still was very wanted, and he still is one of the biggest and best songwriters ever. So yeah, I try to be optimistic.
Yeah, definitely a hard thing. And, I think this is a perfect time to play Empty Bottle here on Hank's Corner.
Empty bottle again. Never said I needed someone to listen to my frustrations, my flaws, mess ups, and limitations. Empty bottle again. No better way to clear my head. Am I slipping to the distance? Will I find time to show up, make a difference? You know yourself. You're never gonna let it go. You know yourself. You're never gonna let it go. So I bring the bottle home. Empty bottle again and again. Responsibilities leave my head. Is it over? Like I told you? Are you happy with a broken heart? Are you lonely? You know yourself. You're never gonna let it go. You know
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. I'm Hank Jr. here with my special guest, Lissa Dee, and you just heard Empty Bottle. And, it does take a lot of hard work, whether you're talking about bodybuilding or music industry. And I know you and your family are all full of hard workers. And, I really definitely hope that it pays off for you, because I know I'm liking you and I want the rest of the world to hear you. And, this is the Christmas holiday. There's a bunch of holidays, Thanksgiving, all the season rolling up, and I know you have a song which is going to be released when the podcast comes out, called "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas." Looking forward to actually hearing that. We're going to play that as a treat here on Hank's Corner. But tell me, for you, what are the holidays for you? I mean, what do you like about them? What do you find maybe a little annoying? And for me, it's always the food that I really enjoy. Of course, the family too, but the food is definitely different and a lot more, and that's why I can't do the bodybuilding. But what about you?
Yeah, I love the food. I just love getting together, and it's always tough because I live out in California and I can't always go back to Jersey. Um, this year I actually owe it to my husband to go to Hawaii. That's where he's from. We haven't been there yet since we've been together, which I don't know how I've avoided that for this long. But I mean, we've been there, but just not for Christmas. So anyway, Christmas for me, it just looks like the white Christmas. And that's what I love, and that's what I've always grown up with: the snow, the cold weather, the fireplace. So that's probably why I avoided Hawaii. I'm like, that's not Christmas. I don't want to go there.
Yeah,
But
and I've told this story on the podcast before. Growing up in South Jersey, I saw a lot of snow. I mean, there were days that it would take me from normal 45-minute commute to a 6-hour drive home because of the snow, and but I never had a white Christmas when I was up there. It wasn't until I moved back to South Texas, and this time I was actually living along the most southern border there in the Rio Grande Valley, that I had my first white Christmas. Now, it wasn't much. I mean, it was probably about an inch of snow that dissipated by the afternoon. But go figure, living all those years in New Jersey, didn't have the white Christmas until I was in South Texas.
I love that. That's so funny.
Well, let's go ahead and play as a treat. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. And when we come back, I can't keep stalling, but I have to answer the two truths and a lie.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. Next year all our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. Next year all our troubles will be miles away. Once again, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us will be near to us once more. Someday soon we all will be together, if the fates allow. Until then we'll have to muddle through somehow. So have yourself a merry little Christmas now. happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Someday soon we all will be together, if the fates allow. Until then, we'll have to muddle through somehow. So have yourself a merry little Christmas. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Have yourself a merry little Christmas now.
And that was Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas by Lissa Dee here on Hank's Corner. I'm Hank Jr. And as I said, I've stalled long enough. I need to figure out these three statements that Lissa gave to me, which two are true and which one is false. So she told me that her dad loves country music. She also said that she's writing a song with Trisha Yearwood's guitarist. And she said that she is going to be singing the national anthem in Las Vegas in December. So now, none of these questions did I really come out and ask you to try to, sneak peek and get you to say it. But I'm gonna take my guess and see what I can figure out. Now, you did say though, even though I didn't ask you, that you've done national anthems before, so that probably wouldn't be too much of a stretch that you're gonna do the national anthem. What I think though, that I think, guessing from the way you said it, that you're definitely proud of being able to do it at the upcoming venue in Las Vegas. But I'm going to say that that's the truth. I'm going to guess, just because I think this is where you're throwing me off, that your dad does not love country music, which leaves that you are writing a song with Trisha Yearwood's guitarist. How did I do?
You got it right.
All right. Well, we got to know about this song then that you're writing.
Yeah. So Johnny Garcia is someone who I met through my voice coach, and Johnny lives in Nashville. He's one of the best guitarists ever, and he also is a songwriter, and he produces artists, and he wanted to work with me, and he actually played on Empty Bottle and Johnny Said. So those are the guitars that you hear on those songs. But he came out to San Diego to record, and then I met him in person, and he wanted to songwrite with me. So we wrote a couple of amazing songs when I was just there in September, called what is it called? Chasing Whiskey with Whiskey, and I'm a Cowgirl Too. They're probably some of my favorites.
Oh, well, I'm definitely looking forward to that, because I can definitely chase some whiskey with some whiskey. So, I definitely love that title for sure. And of course, be sure to send that over to me, the cover arts, when he gets time for that, so that the people can find it on my New Music Friday post, where every Friday I'm putting all the new music out there by, some of the greatest artists out there, and definitely want to make sure that you're promoted there. But also, speaking about promotion, tell us about where you're going to be singing the national anthem in December.
Oh yeah, so my husband's brother and dad compete every year in the team roping World Series finals in Las Vegas, and I've been going to this for like 5 or 6 years, and once so I went to a Miranda Lambert concert a couple of years ago. My band was just breaking up, and that's when I decided that I wanted to be a country singer. A little backstory there. But the year after that, I saw like all these country artists and some of them were singing at the national anthem and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, I need to do this." And so I reached out and they said yes. So I'm singing at one of the biggest, coolest rodeos in Las Vegas this year. I'm super excited.
Well, I'm happy for you, and I know you're going to do well. And they're going to bring you back, and who knows? Maybe your song will make it onto Yellowstone because maybe somebody will be out there that will see that and get you on. But just remember that you knew Hank from Hank's Corner, and you got to bring me along with your stardom. But definitely go check out Lissa Dee. You can find her where she's playing, all that kind of good stuff that we've been talking about on musicbylissa.com. Lissa spelled Lissa. I have it here. It's been here the whole show. And Lissa, it's definitely fun getting the chance to talk with you. I'm glad you spent the time. If you ever want to be a guest on Hank's Corner, you're more than welcome to.
Thank you so much. It was so much fun. And thank you for listening.
Wild like a California wildfire burning through the night. When you told me you loved me, I needed time to heal my soul, assess my mind without